What's up, my friends? Welcome to an all-new video. I'm U.S. Army veteran Christopher Chaos, and today I'm coming at you with a news-style video, as there's some very interesting news that came out during this week that I need to kind of share with you guys, especially for those of you that are interested in potentially joining the military, the Army, or whatever in the possible future. And that is that on Monday, on the 4th of May, it came out that apparently the military is not going to accept people that have tested positive for the coronavirus or for COVID-19. That is going to make you disqualified, ineligible for being able to join the United States military. Now, there is another update to that, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but let me first talk about the first news that first came out during the week, and then I'll talk about another update that kind of came out of that as well a little bit later. So initially that memorandum came out. It started circulating through Twitter somehow. I don't know how it kind of made its way through that. At least that's what it was kind of gaining traction from, was from, being shared on Twitter. So this came out on Twitter, this memorandum that basically outlines all the different provisions and everything. And in there, it's basically saying that if, a possible recruit goes through MEPS or whatever, and it shows that they have had COVID-19 or the coronavirus in the past, then they are disqualified from being able to join the United States military. So people started thinking that maybe this is a hoax, maybe this isn't true, maybe this is just someone who created a fake memorandum to get people riled up about, the coronavirus more, or whatever the case might be. Well, it turns out that it is true. There was someone at the Pentagon that verified, yes, this memorandum is true. It is, they're mentioned in the article that it is like an interim memorandum, so it's kind of like still being worked, I guess. Maybe it's not the final version of it, but as of right now, as of that memo anyways, it was saying that if you previously in the past had COVID-19, you're disqualified for the military, much like if you had asthma or some kind of mental disorder, or certain other things that are disqualifiers from joining the United States military. Well, now added to that list is COVID-19 or the coronavirus. So that seems pretty harsh, sounds pretty crazy that, just based on that, eliminates you. And I'll kind of get into maybe the possibility why as I kind of get a little bit more into the video, because I also need to kind of explain the update that actually came out on Thursday that kind of added onto that. An update that came out on Thursday on the 7th of May actually kind of dialed it back a little bit and loosened up some of those restrictions to kind of say that unless you were hospitalized by COVID-19 or the coronavirus, then you're disqualified from joining the military. So if you weren't hospitalized based on it, but you've tested positive for it, then you may still be able to still join. The memorandum still isn't very clear, and it still even states in that one that it's like an interim memorandum, so it's probably still being kind of fine-tuned and worked and not the final kind of say just yet, but it now has loosened up a little bit. So if you test positive that you had COVID-19 or the coronavirus in the past, but you don't have any kind of medical record showing that you were hospitalized because of it, then you could still possibly be eligible to still join the United States military. So that does relax it a little bit, because before was just simply saying that coronavirus, COVID-19 in past, nope, no military. That could potentially eliminate a lot of people, especially if this thing continues to grow, continues to spread, and become something as common as, let's say, like chickenpox, right? Where because you had chickenpox, you can't join the United States military, would eliminate a lot of people. And if that becomes the case with COVID-19, that could be pretty extreme. But like I said, this even new memorandum isn't very kind of specific. Does that mean that if you went to the hospital to see, a doctor for that eliminates you? If, you had to spend overnight in the hospital, that eliminates you. So all the fine details have not been yet worked out. And they even say in there that you still potentially could have like chances for waivers in some cases, but there's still going to be more information that needs to come. So you need to know that possibly if you did have COVID-19 or the coronavirus in the past, you might have a little extra work to do when you go through MEPS to try to get through the process until this gets hashed out a little bit better, I guess. Now, even in the article, they don't really know why. They tried to reach out for a comment and everything as far as why this is being done. And it doesn't sound like they got really any good solid answers as to why the Pentagon has decided that COVID-19 and the coronavirus is a eliminator for individuals to potentially join the military. In the article, and probably even from what I understand of what it sounds like, it kind of sounds like it's partly based on they're not sure what the long-term effects are of COVID-19. Is this something that affects your respiratory system long-term? So there are still like initial reports that are thinking that is the case. I don't think they have anything concrete just yet because it's still fairly new. So they don't really know what are the long-term effects of this. Is this something that is going to affect someone's respiratory system to give them the same kind of maybe symptoms like asthma or something else that could really affect their physical ability to be able to have that endurance to keep up to the physical standards of the United States military? So that's probably also why it's kind of the interim thing. And this possibly could just be a thing where right now they're saying, hey, if you were hospitalized because of COVID-19, we don't want to take any chances of you joining the military. And then after a year, after 6 months, whatever the case is, this starts materializing more and we find out that your lungs and your respiratory system have been affected and now you can't keep up physically and either we have to chapter you out or whatever the case might end up being. So this may just be a temporary thing until probably scientists or doctors get a little bit better of an understanding as to what are the long-term effects of the coronavirus or COVID-19. So that's my thought, and that's kind of even what they kind of touch on a little bit in the article, is that it's possible that this is why they're doing it, is because of the long-term effects. And I can kind of understand it from that standpoint. So probably until we understand better as far as what the long-term effects are, this may stay in place to where they are not going to allow people to join the military if they've been hospitalized, at least, probably for the coronavirus. So if they had to be on a respirator, had to be in the hospital, then they don't want to take any chances. But you might still be okay, like especially if you're someone who didn't exhibit any symptoms and you just had, tested positive from your antibodies or whatever the case was, but you don't have any kind of medical history showing that you're hospitalized because of it, you may still be safe. This will most likely just be some kind of temporary thing until more comes from it. Now I'm going to link down below in the description the 2 articles that reference it. The first article that initially talked about it when the first memorandum came out, and then the second article that lists the changes that came out as far as them kind of fine-tuning a little bit and pulling back a little bit and just saying simply people were hospitalized because of it. So you can check out the full articles down in the links down below to get more details out of it. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up, especially for those individuals that are potentially looking to join the United States military this year, next year, sometime in the future, whatever. And maybe you know that you've had the coronavirus, but maybe you weren't hospitalized from it. Maybe you were hospitalized from it. Whatever the case is, now you have a little bit of a heads up as right now that could cause a little bit of problems as for you to be able to join the United States military. So check out those articles down below if you want to see more information. I have some more links down there. If you enjoyed this video, found it informative, hit that thumbs up for me. Thanks for watching. I'm Christopher Chaos. I'll see you next time. See ya.